Everything you are today, your fears, that random skill that seemed to come out of nowhere, even the love that appeared without warning, is not a coincidence. Every detail of your life is part of a story much older than you can imagine. And I'm not talking about fate, but something even deeper, reincarnation. Within the essence of your soul, you carry secrets from past lives, and today we're going to uncover 9 signs that prove it. It doesn't matter if you're skeptical or already a believer. Even your doubt might be a memory trying to come back. Reincarnation isn't some modern idea. It's ancient, far older than the great civilizations we study today. Simply put, it tells us that our journey doesn't begin at birth or end with death. Life is a continuous stream of experiences, lessons, and transformations, with no true beginning or end. Each moment we live is a building block, a bridge between who we once were and who we are still becoming. Think about those people who seem to carry deep wisdom from a very young age, while others struggle to grasp even the most basic lessons in life. Or consider the children who, without ever being taught, show incredible talents, like they already know something others don't. These are just a few signs that make us question the simple, linear view of existence. What if life isn't as straightforward as it seems? But if reincarnation is real, then why don't we remember our past lives? Many spiritual teachings explain that the veil of forgetfulness is necessary. It gives us a fresh start, free from the emotional weight of our previous existences. Just imagine carrying the pain, losses, and trauma of multiple lifetimes. It would be too heavy a burden to bear. Yet, something from the past still tries to reach us, something deep within that wants to remember and reveal itself. I've experienced something like this myself. I remember traveling to a country I had never been to before, but the moment I stepped onto its streets, breathed in the air, and heard the language, everything felt so familiar, like I had been there before. There was no rational explanation, but deep in my soul, it felt like I was coming home. That country was England, more specifically, London. Is anyone here from there? This kind of feeling, as strange as it may seem, makes us reflect on the mystery of life and the soul. Like a book that captures us from the very first page, the idea of reincarnation has the power to awaken both the mind and the heart. It's deeply rooted in some of humanity's oldest and most respected traditions. And when we begin to explore who we once were, we gain a much clearer understanding of who we are now. Our likes, our choices, even those traits that seem to have no explanation at all. They suddenly begin to make sense. It's like putting together pieces of a puzzle that until now always felt incomplete. But here's what really matters: the practice. How do you know if you've lived past lives? How can you recognize the signs your soul has been trying to show you? There are signs, deep and powerful ones. They're not just coincidences or passing impressions. They're markers, traces left behind for those who pay close attention. Situations that once seemed strange or unexplainable suddenly become key pieces in the great mosaic of your existence. And as you learn about each of these signs, ask yourself, how many of them have already appeared in my life? Let's go deeper. Sign number 1, intense and frequent déjà vu. Have you felt it? You're in a place you've never been before. There are no memories, no logical reason to feel connected. But suddenly, something happens. The smell of the air, the sounds around you, the way the light hits. It all feels strangely familiar. That's déjà vu. And no, it's not just a glitch in your brain. Science has long tried to explain this phenomenon as a small mental hiccup, a momentary misfire. But those who've truly experienced deep, powerful déjà vu know it's not just a brain malfunction. There's something deeper going on, something that touches your soul in an unexplainable way. These moments are like flashes from another life, fragments of a distant time rising from deep within your consciousness. asking to be acknowledged. And when you recognize them, something inside you shifts, as if you've just touched a thread that links your past to your present. And this is just the first sign. There are many more waiting to be discovered. Are you ready to keep going? For many spiritual traditions and soul scholars, déjà vu isn't just a passing sensation. It's a breach between the present and the past. A window that briefly opens, allowing memories from other lifetimes to brush against us for a moment. Have you ever stopped to really think about that? Why would your heart suddenly race as you walk down a street you've never seen before? Or why would you feel like you've already had a conversation, even though you know logically it's the first time those words have ever been spoken? These moments aren't accidents. They're flashes, invisible marks we carry from past existences. And here's a crucial point. The more frequent and intense the déjà vu, the more likely it is that its roots run deep into another life. Many people who experience strong déjà vu don't just describe it as a vague sense of familiarity. For them, these moments are vivid, emotional, full of a strange intensity that's impossible to ignore. They're not just mental glitches. They're experiences where everything, absolutely everything, feels like it has happened before, in some other place, in some other time. Now let me share a real story to illustrate this. I once met someone who was extremely rational. She had never been interested in spirituality or ideas like reincarnation. She saw the world in a very logical way, until one day, something happened that changed everything. She traveled to a small historic village in a country she had never visited before. And the moment she arrived, something began to stir. The narrow streets, the ancient buildings frozen in time. Everything felt strangely familiar, in a way she couldn't explain. There was no logical reason for what she was feeling, but deep down she knew, with an overwhelming certainty, where each path led, where each alley would end. As she walked, a strange sensation took over her body, as if she were retracing steps she had walked before. And then, as she turned a corner, she found herself standing in front of a small square. In that exact moment, tears welled up in her eyes, without any reason. It wasn't sadness, it wasn't joy, it was longing, something deep, as if she had returned to a place she had once left behind, centuries ago. After talking to the locals, she discovered that the square had once been a gathering place for public events and markets centuries ago. But the most curious part was when she described an old fountain that used to stand at the center of the square, a fountain that no longer existed, yet was documented in the town's historical archives. That one detail hit her like a wave. In a moment of deep realization, she understood. Her déjà vu wasn't a mental glitch. It was a memory of the soul, a fleeting echo of who she once was in another life, resurfacing from the depths of her unconscious to whisper, "We've been here before." And that's how déjà vu reveals itself. When it hits deeply, it's a sign that certain experiences are so powerful they transcend time and resist forgetting. So, the next time you feel yourself transported by a place or a moment that should be new but feels overwhelmingly familiar, don't dismiss it. Your soul might be trying to remind you who you really are and all that you've lived through. Now let's move to sign number 2, instant connections. Some people enter our lives gradually. It takes time to build trust, to form a bond. But then there are others, people who arrive differently. The connection is immediate, it's deep, and it's completely unexplainable. That first glance, that first interaction already carries the weight of something ancient. There's no need to force it. You just know this person, as if they've been part of your story all along. My friends, that's a soul reunion. And when it happens, it's one of the clearest signs that you've lived before. People, places, moments, they all imprint on our soul. And when we cross paths with them again, even in a completely new context, The recognition is instant. I've seen this kind of connection with my own eyes. Two people meeting for the first time, but acting like lifelong friends. The energy between them was effortless, familiar, undeniable. The laughter, the eye contact, the way they understood each other without needing long explanations. It was as if they were picking up a conversation that had started long ago. These are signs, powerful signs, that souls find each other again, across time and space, to continue a story that began long before this lifetime. And when you encounter such a connection, so instant, so intense, remember this: it might be your soul recognizing something that's been lost for a long time and is now reawakening with a force that can't be ignored. And here's the most fascinating part. Other people noticed it too. In just a few days, friends and strangers began commenting, saying how it seemed like they'd known each other for years. Their conversations flowed effortlessly. They finished each other's sentences. They anticipated each other's reactions. Even stranger still, they recalled shared memories of moments they had never actually lived together. Every gesture, every glance deepened this immediate harmony. There was no effort, no need for adjustment or small talk. It just happened. This kind of connection goes beyond simple affinity or that famous instant chemistry. When we live through multiple lifetimes, our souls become entangled, creating deep bonds with others. They may return to us as friends, lovers, or companions on the journey. And when that reunion happens, time and circumstances no longer matter. It could have been one life, 2 or 10, but the essence recognizes. And when it does, everything flows with rare ease. You feel it in the comfort that person brings, in the way you understand each other without words, in the harmony that exists even in silence, a silence that never feels uncomfortable. The same applies to places. There are places that embrace us the moment we step into them. Even if it's our first time there, something feels undeniably right, as if our feet already know the path. It's not just beauty or charm. It's something deeper. It's a reunion. Some call it destiny, others call it coincidence. But when that connection is so intense and so natural, the meaning becomes clear. You've been there before. Life isn't made only of beginnings. It's woven with continuities, stories that cross time to teach, to heal, or simply to carry on what was once started. Now let's move on to sign number 3, wisdom and talent. Some people are born with a gift, a skill that seems to come from nowhere. Even at a young age, they show extraordinary ability without any logical explanation, like a child who picks up an instrument and plays it beautifully, as if they'd practiced for years, or a friend who picks up a language with shocking ease, as if they already knew it in another lifetime. That's not luck. It's not just a gift. It's memory. It's the accumulated experience of past lives, knowledge lived, and somehow brought back into this lifetime. I saw this with my sister, Letitia. Since she was 8 years old, she drew with stunning precision and sensitivity. She never took a single drawing class, but her art looked like something she already knew, something she'd brought with her. Whenever we asked how she knew what to do, she'd simply say, "I just feel it." And that, my friends, is proof that we carry with us fragments of everything we've ever lived, everything we've ever learned, through countless lives. These talents don't appear out of nowhere. They're the result of experience, wisdom collected over time, as if a part of our soul was already prepared to express something that transcends both time and space. These signs are just the tip of the iceberg. They're not logical explanations. They're deep experiences that touch the innermost layers of the soul. So when you feel something is deeply familiar, or when a talent reveals itself in a way that defies logic, remember, Your soul carries a legacy of many lives, and who you are today may be nothing more than a continuation of something far greater than you can imagine. And finally, we arrive at sign number 7, the feeling of being an old soul. Some people seem to carry the weight of countless experiences, even while they're still young. They possess a rare maturity, a depth in their gaze that sees beyond the surface. While many lose themselves in distractions and illusions, these individuals live in reflection, in silence, often choosing to avoid empty conversations, as if they've always known, even from a young age, that life moves in cycles, that it's made of highs and lows, of meetings and goodbyes. That feeling of being different, of thinking in a deeper way, of not fully fitting into the everyday concerns of others, is a clear sign that your soul has walked many paths. The expression "old soul" carries real meaning here. It doesn't mean someone is necessarily wiser or more intelligent, but someone who has lived enough to see beyond the illusions, to understand what truly matters. These souls tend to be calmer, more patient, and often they carry a subtle melancholy, as if they somehow know that the superficial holds no real power over them. This type of soul often attracts others who seek wisdom or guidance. They radiate a natural energy, a quiet wisdom that people feel and instinctively trust. What's fascinating is that old souls don't need to look for anything. They simply exist, and their presence speaks volumes. They are the ones who, across many lives, have learned to see life through different eyes. Eyes that see beneath the surface. Eyes that recognize what truly holds value. These signs, they are just the surface of a far deeper ocean. And if you feel that any of these signs resonate with you, remember this. Your journey is much older and more complex than you could possibly imagine. Every lifetime, every encounter, every memory could be part of a vast tapestry being woven across many existences, revealing more of who you are and who you have already been. Behind it all is the silent memory of past journeys. Every challenge overcome, every love lived, every loss endured, all of it accumulates within a soul that is no longer easily shaken. A soul that knows, with a quiet clarity, that what truly matters is not what fades, but what remains, and what remains are the marks left behind, shaping your essence, manifesting now in simple gestures, in wise words, in a presence that seems to carry centuries of stories. So when you feel like you don't quite belong, when you feel deep, different, or even out of place, understand this. It is not a flaw. It is a sign that your soul has seen and lived far more than the eyes of this lifetime can reveal. Sign 8. Recurring lessons in life's patterns. Some situations seem to repeat themselves across different phases of life, as if they were chapters of the same story, told with new characters, but carrying the same underlying lesson. Relationships that follow familiar patterns, emotional challenges that return in new forms, mistakes that reappear even when the intention was to act differently. It's as if something is trying to reveal a truth that hasn't yet been fully understood. These cycles are not bad luck, they are not punishment, and they are not coincidences. They are lessons that the soul still needs to fully integrate. When an experience is not truly processed, it repeats itself. And sometimes these repetitions didn't begin in this life. They come from far back, unfinished stories, unresolved emotions, unfulfilled promises. The soul, in its search for balance and growth, attracts circumstances that help close what was once left open. And when you start to look at these patterns honestly, you begin to see that they carry a message. Something is being asked of you. Something that requires courage to face and awareness to transform. Many of these cycles show up in themes like abandonment, rejection, authority, dependency, loss, internal conflict, and even addiction. Topics we've explored in depth in a dedicated video. They show up as external experiences, but in truth, they are reflections of a deep inner movement of the soul. Recognizing this changes everything, because from that moment on, you stop living on autopilot, and you begin to see meaning in the repetition, in the pain, in the gains, in the entire context. Life's persistence becomes a mirror of the soul's own persistence for evolution. These patterns act like mirrors. They reflect what still needs to be healed, what must be integrated and released, and once the lesson is truly learned, the cycle ends. The experience doesn't repeat itself again, because the soul has finally absorbed what it came here to understand. And that, my friend, is liberation. That's the moment when life stops feeling like a series of tests and begins to feel like a path of conscious transformation. Sign 9, the search for something greater. Even after everything that has been lived in this lifetime, some carry a quiet restlessness, as if deep down something is always missing. No matter how much they achieve or how many experiences they gather, this feeling lingers. It's as if a part of them knows that something greater is still waiting to be found. This constant sense of longing, without fully knowing what it is often a direct reflection of the soul's memory. Souls that have crossed through many lives carry with them the echo of what they've experienced and the yearning for what they still long to fulfill. They know, even if unconsciously, that there is continuity beyond this life. That's why nothing feels entirely new, and nothing ever feels completely enough. There's a hunger for meaning, a longing for answers that go beyond the visible, beyond the material. It is the soul's impulse, its inner compass, pointing toward completion. Those who feel this are rarely satisfied by superficial explanations or empty routines. They seek depth in everything, in relationships, in choices, in the very reason for being here. Often, this search expresses itself through an interest in spirituality, philosophy, or a journey inward. And when this feeling persists, it becomes a powerful sign. It tells you that your soul is ready to recover memories, to integrate long-held lessons, and to step into a new level of awareness. To search for something greater is not dissatisfaction, it is ancient wisdom. Peak's soul knows, and it has always known, and that is why even when everything around you seems complete, even when life looks full, you still feel that you are in the middle of the path. You are not lost. You are remembering. Sign 10, energetic sensitivity. Some people possess a sensitivity that goes far beyond the ordinary. They can easily perceive the atmosphere of a place, feel the energy of those around them, and often absorb others' emotions with an intensity that can be overwhelming. They are the ones who get tired in crowded spaces, who are deeply moved by other people's stories, and who, without intending to, take on both the pains and joys of those nearby. This sensitivity should never be mistaken for weakness. On the contrary, it is a clear sign of an experienced soul. Souls that have journeyed through many lifetimes naturally become more open and receptive. Over the course of their past lives, they have learned to connect deeply with their surroundings. Even without conscious effort, they pick up subtle frequencies that often go unnoticed by most people. This manifests as intense empathy, sharp intuition, and a tendency to be sought out by others for comfort and guidance. They are the ones people turn to when they need support, even if they never say it out loud. This sensitivity is undoubtedly a gift, but also a challenge. It requires maturity and balance to avoid being overwhelmed by external emotions. When properly understood and cared for, it becomes a powerful tool for connection and healing. To feel what others feel, to perceive what is unspoken, and to intuit Pathways is a clear sign that the soul has traveled many roads and now holds a broader vision of life. It's as if there is a perception beyond the physical, a refined sense for what lies between the lines. However, this role of heightened sensitivity also demands care. Feeling so much and so deeply can be exhausting. Absorbing others' emotions and energies without realizing it can cause emotional imbalance, distract the person from their own path, and overwhelm the mind and body. Those with this sensitivity need to learn to protect themselves, set healthy boundaries, and recognize when they are giving too much. Cultivating moments of silence, rest, and inner reconnection becomes essential to maintaining balanced energy. This is not selfishness, but preservation. The sensitive soul needs space to recover, otherwise it carries the weight of energies that do not belong to it. Clearing energy through practices such as meditation, herbal baths, conscious breathing, contact with nature, or other spiritual rituals is fundamental to avoid losing oneself in so many emotions. Sensitivity, when well cared for, is a bridge to healing, but if neglected, it can become a burden that drains vital energy. So, if you feel too much, if you can perceive what others don't say, if you are constantly sought out to listen and offer comfort, remember to take care of yourself, because those who feel the world so deeply also need a refuge to remain whole. If you possess this sensitivity, do not see it as a curse, but as a gift that, when nurtured, can become a powerful channel of healing, both for you and for others. Looking at all these signs is not about being trapped by the past. On the contrary, it is about illuminating the present. It is realizing that life is not made only of beginnings, but of continuities, of stories that intersect and intertwine over time. Knowing you have lived other lives is not fantasy. It is a fundamental part of your awakening. When you become aware of this, everything changes. Patterns cease to be prisons. Pain gains new meaning, and encounters are seen as reunions of souls who recognize each other. The soul longs to evolve. It longs to remember. And the invitation now is for you to take the next step on this journey of self-discovery. Which of these signs have you been noticing in your life? What story is your soul trying to tell? Share in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what another soul needs to hear in order to recognize itself too. Now, as we reach the end of this revealing expedition, I want to express my deepest gratitude to you for staying with us until the end. Your dedication and curiosity are the fuel that drives us to explore, demystify, and share these intriguing stories. I want to share something special with you. As a fan of the Map of Higher Self channel, you are about to embark on a unique journey of self-discovery and mental formation. I present to you the Map of Higher Self, a revolutionary ebook that will redefine your mental reality. As the creator of this content and leader of the Map of Higher Self channel, I'm sharing my deepest experiences and valuable lessons with you. Each chapter of this ebook is a reflection of my journey, filled with practical lessons I've lived and transformed into wisdom. Don't miss this opportunity to transform your life. Click the link in the pinned comment and start your journey towards self-knowledge and positivity today. Imagine yourself for a moment as one of the ancient explorers who ventured into unknown territories, guided only by the flame of curiosity and the thirst for knowledge. Every piece of information, every symbol deciphered, is like a map leading us deeper into the labyrinth of the unknown. And just like those explorers, you too are now a little closer to the truth, carrying with you a new understanding of the forces that shape our world. Your presence here is not just a personal achievement, but a valuable contribution to a vibrant community of curious and knowledge-seeking individuals. Every view, Every comment, every like is a step we take together toward a deeper and collective understanding. You are not just a spectator, you are a partner in this journey of discovery. So, as we close this chapter, I invite you to reflect on today's revelations and prepare for the next steps. We will continue unraveling secrets, questioning established truths, and exploring the mysteries around us. Your participation is essential, not just for the growth of this channel, but for the expansion of our horizon of knowledge. Until the next discovery. And remember, the real power lies in questioning and understanding what is beyond the visible. And before you go, don't miss these 2 videos I've selected especially for you. They're packed with deep knowledge and fascinating discoveries that you'll love. Click on one of them and continue your journey of self-discovery and the pursuit of wisdom with the amazing content our channel has to offer.